In a world where attachment to appearances, opinions, and approval seems to dominate, have you ever stopped to ask yourself, why am I so attached to what others think? Why do I allow their judgments to create suffering in my mind and distance me from inner peace? Buddhism teaches us a profound truth. Much of our suffering comes from clinging, whether to others' opinions, fleeting desires, or the illusion of control. And here's the liberating realization. Nobody truly cares as much as you think they do. Why? Because they too are caught in the cycle of their own attachments, their own struggles, and their own desires. When you let go of the need for validation, when you release the grasping for approval, you begin to find freedom. This is the essence of the Dharma, learning to detach from the external and focus on cultivating inner peace, wisdom, and compassion. True happiness arises not from pleasing others, but from aligning with the path that leads to liberation and awakening. 1. Stop seeking validation. One of the greatest obstacles to personal freedom is the need for validation. We often live our lives seeking approval from others, whether it's through social media, likes, compliments, or recognition. But validation from others is like a cup with a hole in the bottom. No matter how much you pour into it, it will never stay full. The Buddha's teachings remind us to seek approval only from within. He once said, "Be a light unto yourself." This doesn't mean rejecting all feedback or relationships. Rather, it means grounding your sense of self-worth in your own values, not in the opinions of others. When you rely on external validation, you give others the power to control your happiness. But when you validate yourself, you reclaim that power. Ask yourself, am I living in alignment with my values and principles? If the answer is yes, that's all the validation you need. Stop looking outward for approval and start focusing inward on living a life of integrity and purpose. 2. Take responsibility for your life. It's easy to blame others or external circumstances for the difficulties in our lives. We might say, if only this person acted differently, or if only I had more money, a better job, or a different background, my life would be better. But the truth is, waiting for external changes keeps you stuck. The Buddha said, "No one saves us but ourselves. No one can and no one may. We ourselves must walk the path." Taking responsibility for your life means accepting that you have the power to shape your thoughts, actions, and decisions. This doesn't mean you're to blame for every hardship, but it does mean you have the ability to choose how you respond. Life will always have challenges, but how you face them determines your growth. Consider this. Every small decision you make today, whether it's choosing to learn something new, practicing kindness, or letting go of a toxic habit, creates the life you'll have tomorrow. The power is in your hands. Take full ownership of your life, and you'll discover that you're capable of far more than you ever imagined. 3. Focus on growth. Growth is a central theme in Buddhism. It's not about reaching a final destination or achieving perfection. It's about the ongoing process of becoming a better version of yourself. The Buddha taught that comparing yourself to others leads to envy and dissatisfaction. Instead, he encouraged us to focus on our own journey and measure growth by how we overcome our personal struggles. Ask yourself, what small steps can I take today to move closer to the person I want to become? Growth doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it's the quiet moments, choosing patience instead of anger, practicing gratitude instead of complaining, or spending time in meditation that lead to profound change over time. Focusing on growth also means embracing mistakes. Every failure is an opportunity to learn, adapt, and improve. Rather than fearing failure or judgment, view challenges as stepping stones to greater wisdom and strength. The journey of growth is lifelong, and every step forward, no matter how small, is a victory. 4. Block out the noise. The world around us is noisy. Everywhere we turn, there are opinions, criticisms, and distractions. We're bombarded with messages telling us who we should be, how we should look, and what we should do. But the truth is, most of this noise is irrelevant to your path. In Buddhism, mindfulness teaches us to focus our attention on the present moment and let go of distractions. Ask yourself, does this thought or opinion truly matter to my goals and peace of mind? If the answer is no, let it go. Not every piece of advice or criticism deserves your attention. Blocking out the noise also means setting boundaries. Protect your energy by limiting time spent with people or situations that drain you. Choose to surround yourself with individuals who support and inspire you, not those who add to the chaos. When you focus on your own voice instead of the world's chatter, you'll find clarity and purpose. 5. Your freedom. Nobody cares, so live your life. Many of us live as if we're constantly under a spotlight, imagining that others are watching our every move, forming judgments about what we do, how we look, and how successful we are. This mindset can be paralyzing. It leads to overthinking, hesitation, and fear of failure because we're so concerned about what others might think. But here's the truth, a truth that is both freeing and transformative. Nobody cares as much as you think they do. Most people are far too absorbed in their own lives to give your actions more than a fleeting thought. They're busy dealing with their own worries, ambitions, insecurities, and responsibilities. While they might notice something you do, it's usually brief and soon forgotten. This is not to say that your life doesn't matter or that your experiences aren't important. Rather, this realization is meant to liberate you from the heavy weight of constantly seeking validation and fearing judgment. Think about it. How much time do you spend worrying about what others might think of you? How often do you hold back from pursuing something meaningful because you're afraid of being criticized or misunderstood? Maybe you've hesitated to try a new career, start a business, wear what you love, or express your true thoughts because of the imagined reactions of others. But the truth is, these fears are mostly in your head. People are not as focused on you as you believe. When you internalize this truth, a whole new level of freedom becomes available to you. When you realize that nobody cares as much as you think, you stop living your life to meet others' expectations. You stop modifying your dreams, goals, and behaviors just to fit into a mold that someone else might find acceptable. Instead, you start to live for yourself. You gain the courage to make choices that align with your own values, passions, and sense of purpose. You stop holding back, fearing judgment or rejection, and begin to pursue the life you truly want. This shift in perspective also opens the door to taking risks. So often, we avoid stepping out of our comfort zones because we're afraid of failing in front of others. But when you realize that most people are too preoccupied with their own challenges to care much about your failures, you start to see failure differently. It becomes a learning experience, not a source of shame. You become free to try, fail, and try again, because you understand that the imagined audience in your head doesn't actually exist. Living your life for yourself doesn't mean you disregard others or act selfishly. It's not about ignoring your responsibilities or relationships. Instead, it means honoring your own dreams and values while maintaining a balance with your commitments to others. It's about letting go of the need for constant approval and trusting yourself to make the best decisions for your life. By prioritizing your authentic self, you also set an example for others to do the same. This freedom, this ability to live authentically, is yours to claim. It has always been within your reach, waiting for you to realize that you don't need anyone else's permission to live a meaningful life. It starts with letting go of the imaginary critics in your mind. These critics often represent our fears, insecurities, or societal conditioning, but they don't define who you are or what you're capable of achieving. Imagine the possibilities when you no longer live under the burden of what others might think. You can pursue the career you've always dreamed of, speak your truth without fear of judgment, and take bold steps toward personal growth. You can embrace the hobbies, relationships, and lifestyle that bring you joy, regardless of whether they meet someone else's idea of success. The key to living a fulfilling life is not in convincing others of your worth. It's in knowing your own worth and living in alignment with it. When you stop worrying about what others think, you reclaim the energy that was once wasted on doubt and hesitation. You can redirect that energy into building a life that feels true to you. Let this realization set you free. Most people are too wrapped up in their own concerns to dwell on yours. They're not watching you as closely as you imagine. This doesn't make your life any less valuable. It simply means you have the freedom to define it on your own terms. Step boldly into the life you want to create. Take risks, make mistakes, and learn from them. Live with authenticity and confidence, knowing that your path is yours to walk. The opinions of others don't define you. Your actions, courage, and choices do. So let go of the fear and start living for yourself. 6. You are responsible for your happiness. Happiness is something we all seek, yet many of us mistakenly place the responsibility for it in the hands of others or in external circumstances. We think, I'll be happy when I have a better job, when I'm in a relationship, when people respect me, or when I achieve this or that goal. But here's the truth. Happiness doesn't come from the outside. It is created within, and you are the one responsible for it. Buddhist teachings emphasize that happiness is a state of mind, not a result of external achievements or possessions. The Buddha said, "Happiness does not depend on what you have or who you are. It solely relies on what you think." This means that no matter your situation, your mindset determines whether you experience peace and contentment. If you rely on external factors like the approval of others, material success, or perfect circumstances, you'll always be chasing happiness but never truly grasping it. Why is this so? External factors are temporary and constantly changing. A new job might bring joy for a while, but over time the excitement fades and you're left wanting more. A relationship can bring love and support, but it can't shield you from life's inevitable challenges or guarantee constant happiness. People might praise you today, but tomorrow they could criticize you. Pinning your happiness on these unstable things means you're always at the mercy of forces beyond your control. The good news is that true happiness comes from within, and this is something you can cultivate. Taking responsibility for your happiness means understanding that it's not the world's job to make you happy. It's not your partner's job, your friend's job, or society's job. It's yours. This might feel daunting at first, but it's actually empowering. It means you have the ability to create joy and peace for yourself, no matter what's happening around you. Start by looking inward. Ask yourself, what truly brings me joy? What makes me feel fulfilled? Often, it's not the big, flashy things we think will make us happy, but simple, meaningful moments. Spending time with loved ones, expressing gratitude, pursuing a passion, or simply being present in the moment. Buddhist teachings encourage mindfulness, being fully aware of and appreciating the present, as a key to happiness. When you practice mindfulness, you learn to find beauty and joy in even the smallest things: a warm cup of tea, a kind word, or the feeling of the sun on your skin. Gratitude is another powerful tool. When you focus on what you already have instead of what you lack, you shift your perspective and cultivate contentment. Instead of thinking, "I'll be happy when," try appreciating the blessings in your life right now. Gratitude trains your mind to see the positive, even in challenging times. Self-compassion is equally important. Too often, we're our own harshest critics, judging ourselves for every mistake or perceived shortcoming. But happiness grows when we treat ourselves with kindness and understanding. Accept that you're human, that you'll make mistakes, and that you're worthy of love and happiness just as you are. Self-compassion allows you to find peace within, regardless of external circumstances. Taking responsibility for your happiness also means letting go of the idea that life has to be perfect for you to be content. Challenges and hardships are inevitable, but they don't have to rob you of joy. Buddhism teaches that suffering is a natural part of life, but our response to it is what matters. By facing difficulties with resilience and a calm mind, you can maintain a sense of peace even during tough times. It's important to recognize that taking responsibility for your happiness doesn't mean you have to do it all alone. Seeking support from loved ones, pursuing therapy, or turning to spiritual practices are all valid ways to nurture your well-being. But the key is understanding that these tools can only guide and support you. They can't create happiness for you. That is your job. When you take ownership of your happiness, you free yourself from dependency on others and circumstances. You stop waiting for someone or something to make you feel fulfilled, and instead actively create a life that brings you joy. This doesn't mean you'll never feel sad, frustrated, or disappointed. Those emotions are natural and part of the human experience, but when you're responsible for your happiness, you can navigate those moments with grace, knowing that your inner peace is not tied to external events. Happiness is not a destination or something you acquire. It's a practice. It's a way of living, thinking, and being. Each day you have the choice to focus on gratitude, self-compassion, and mindfulness. Each day you can decide to find joy in the present moment rather than waiting for something in the future. Take responsibility for your happiness, and you'll discover that it was within your power all along. 7. Impermanence makes everything temporary. One of the most profound teachings of Buddhism is the concept of anicca, or impermanence. It reminds us that everything in life, whether it's joy or sorrow, success or failure, praise or criticism, is temporary. This truth is not meant to dishearten you. Rather, it's a powerful tool to help you let go of attachment and embrace the flow of life with grace and peace. Think about the many experiences in your life. The happiest moments, like celebrations, successes, or achievements, likely brought you immense joy. But did those feelings last forever? Probably not. Over time, the excitement faded and life continued. The same is true for difficult moments, such as heartbreak, loss, or failure. At the time, they may have felt overwhelming, but eventually they softened and you moved forward. This is the nature of impermanence. Everything is in a state of constant change, and nothing lasts forever. Understanding impermanence can be incredibly liberating. First, it helps you realize that no matter how challenging your current situation may seem, it will not last forever. Pain, grief, and hardships are part of the human experience, but they are not permanent. When you accept this, you can endure difficulties with greater resilience, knowing that better days will come. On the other hand, impermanence also teaches us not to cling too tightly to the good moments. Joy, success, and love are all fleeting. This doesn't mean you shouldn't enjoy them. In fact, it's the opposite. Knowing they won't last forever allows you to fully appreciate and savor them while they're here. Instead of worrying about when they might end, you can immerse yourself in the present moment, cherishing it for what it is. Impermanence also invites us to let go of attachments. In Buddhist philosophy, attachment is a major source of suffering. When we cling to people, possessions, or experiences, We set ourselves up for pain because inevitably those things will change or fade. For example, if you tie your happiness to a specific relationship, career, or material possession, what happens when it's gone? You feel lost and empty. But when you embrace the truth of impermanence, you learn to enjoy these things without becoming dependent on them. You can love deeply, work passionately, and celebrate wholeheartedly. But when the time comes to let go, you can do so with peace. Accepting impermanence doesn't mean you stop caring or become detached from life. It means you live with greater awareness and intention. You recognize that each moment is unique and fleeting, so you treat it as precious. You stop taking things for granted and begin to see the beauty in the ordinary, the laughter of a loved one, the colors of a sunset, or the simple pleasure of a quiet moment. This understanding can also change the way you view others. When you realize that people, like all things, are impermanent, you may find yourself being more compassionate and forgiving. Conflicts and misunderstandings lose their sting when you see them as temporary. You may also feel a deeper appreciation for the people in your life, knowing that your time with them is limited. Impermanence teaches us to focus on what truly matters. When you accept that life is always changing, you stop wasting energy on things that are out of your control. Instead of clinging to the past or fearing the future, you center yourself in the present. You ask yourself, what can I do right now to live fully, love deeply, and grow authentically? It's important to note that embracing impermanence doesn't mean becoming indifferent or detached from your emotions. You will still feel sadness, joy, frustration, and love. The difference is that you won't be ruled by them. When you experience happiness, you'll enjoy it without trying to hold on to it. When you face pain, you'll acknowledge it without believing it will last forever. This balance is where true peace lies. Impermanence also helps us face the ultimate reality of life, death. While this can be an uncomfortable topic, Buddhism encourages us to see it as a natural part of existence. When you understand that life is finite, you begin to live with greater urgency and purpose. You stop putting off your dreams, mending relationships, or pursuing what truly matters. Instead of fearing the end, you focus on making the most of the time you have. To practice embracing impermanence, start with mindfulness. Pay attention to the changing nature of your thoughts, feelings, and surroundings. Notice how a strong emotion, like anger or excitement, rises and falls. Observe how the seasons change, how your body grows and ages, or how conversations come and go. By becoming aware of life's constant flow, you can learn to navigate it with greater ease and wisdom. Gratitude is another powerful way to internalize impermanence. When you understand that nothing lasts forever, you begin to appreciate the people, moments, and experiences in your life more deeply. Instead of focusing on what's missing, you celebrate what you have right now, knowing it won't always be there. Impermanence is not a source of fear, it's a gift. It frees you from the chains of attachment, helps you find peace in uncertainty, and allows you to live with greater presence and intention. Everything in life, both good and bad, is part of this natural cycle. When you embrace this truth, you stop resisting change and start flowing with it. Life is precious because it's temporary. When you truly understand this, you can let go of the past, stop worrying about the future, and fully experience the beauty of the present moment. So remember, impermanence is not an obstacle. It's the foundation of freedom, gratitude, and peace. Live fully, love deeply, and embrace life as it is, ever-changing and infinitely precious. Remember, nobody cares as much as you think they do. And that's a beautiful thing. It means you are free to focus on your growth, your happiness, and your purpose. Let go of the distractions, align with your truth, live fully, unapologetically, and with mindful intention.